I share this?
Do you remember if you replaced the fan while the thing was in your position?
I did not.
Okay.
I don't think I made any changes to it.
Okay.
Maybe. No, I don't even think I changed the tape because that little foam bits, I think, were already there.
Okay, so this was all me.
What, changing the fan?
No, the fan. I guess I gave it to you with the broken blade. I don't know.
Maybe. I kind of remember the fan being really noisy, so.
Okay.
But I honestly never looked, so I have no idea.
So you could have been using it with a broken blade all this time. Okay.
In fact, most likely I was. Get this closer without it tipping over. Let me scoot this back. Yeah. Terrible video quality. You can barely see Roger in there, but that's fine. Just get back there.
It's Roger at work.
Yes. You can kind of see your hands. Okay. Well, I guess since I'm having my laptop occupied by that, I'm not going to do any coding work because I didn't bring the Ubuntu computer with me. I want to work on this thing. I want to get that Conway's Game of Life going. But I started looking at the sketches written for an Arduino, and like the code will obviously run on the ESP32, but like it uses some different libraries, and the ESP32 like pinout is different. And like it's not simple. It's not like the library says like like this pin is not labeled clock pin. It's labeled like OE, and this one's labeled like A4. And like there's no obvious like I can't look at the like Arduino library and be like, oh well, they made like pin 6 the clock pin for the display, and pin this the data pin for the display. And so like there's that, and then there's the pixel time, or the PX matrix library uses something called double buffering, which the Arduino library can't do, or because the Arduino doesn't have enough like power to do double buffering.
Right.
But the ESP32 can.
Sure does.
So the Arduino is instead like pulling sort of like a jury rig thing of like loading some of the stuff into the EEPROM.
Ugh.
And I'm like, man, I want to just port this over, but I don't even know where to start.
Moving code from ESP32 to Arduino is what I consider a fool's errand.
Okay.
Just because their capability.
Well, I mean,
because you don't have to write to the display unless something changes.
Right.
But that's good, but that's not the problem right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't bother.
Well, so like the core of the Arduino sketch, it's just running Conway's Game of Life.
Mm-hmm.
And like that part of it, it doesn't matter if it's on ESP32. It's just like it's doing some math and figuring out pixels go where.
Yep.
But it's like I have to transplant that chunk somehow into code for the ESP32 that does all the display stuff. And I don't have a clue how to do that.
Arduino to ESP32 is much more.
Yes.
Okay. Is that what you meant all along? Because I
Yes.
thought you meant the other way. Trying
No,
to
no, no,
do it, make Arduino do double buffering.
No.
You're not.
So
okay.
I have code for this ESP32 that easily runs things,
Mhm.
like displays things.
Yep.
The Conway's Game of Life sketch is meant for displaying Conway's Game of Life on a 16 by 32 LED matrix, but it's using an Arduino. So somehow I have to take that code
Mhm.
and make it run on this thing.
Mhm.
And like, I don't even know where to start. It's very confusing.
Okay. I think you know where to start. It's a little bit of intimidation starting a project.
No, I mean, I started looking at the libraries on both of them, and I'm like, I don't even know. I don't know what corresponds to what here, and it's like,
Do you find it? Okay, finish your sentence.
and so it was like, all right, let me just look at this section for the Conway's Game of Life section, but it's like pieces of it are strewn about in other parts of the program, and I'm like, I don't know what to take and what not to take, and I don't know, like, I started getting really confused.
Okay. Well, in theory, a well-written one will just have Conway's thing in a nice chunk you can pull up. It sounds like this is not that case.
Yeah. I mean, Brian Locke was looking at it and he was like, oh, this will be easy. But like, he knows how to code.
And you will too. It's fine.
Maybe one day. One day I'll get there.
Yeah.
I need to prop this camera up a little bit so it tilts. That. Yeah, that's a little better. Yeah. But yeah, at least the diffuser came out pretty good.
Yeah. I see you got quite a bit of feedback on Twitter. I didn't get to see it
Yeah.
all because Twitter.
But I
It's
do
hard to
want
do
to.
that on Twitter.
It's I still want to solve the brightness issue. And so like in this light, it's hard to see.
Yep.
It's because the white reflects so much,
Mhm.
and so I need to play around with that some more. It looks great if it's not in such bright circumstances. So like if it's inside your home, it's perfect.
Well, in theory, how would you solve that? Because white, that's its job to diffuse and reflect light.
Right. So either get some white that like transmits more of the light through, because like these are considerably brighter if they're not like being diffused through this thing. Like that's pretty bright. It's just like harder to read. So like either use a different layer in something. So like
Okay.
I was talking to people on Twitter, and well, so Deborah has been experimenting all day with things, like trying different kinds of.
I saw the thing with black acrylic on the top.
Yeah.
It's just dark with the LED off.
Right. And so like dark acrylic might be great. If I can get some like thin dark acrylic, maybe like 0.09.
Let's see how that compares. I mean, that's still reflecting plenty.
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to get much thinner than a sheet of paper.
Right. So it might be a matter of going with like black, if I can
Okay.
get the black stuff. Or the other thing I'm thinking that I want to try is like sanding a piece of acrylic, like essentially frosting a piece of, so like not having white, because the white pigment is going to be bouncing all around. I could, or I could just like get some like 400 grit sandpaper and sand a piece of acrylic. We do have scraps of acrylic here, right?
Yeah.
Do we have it? Do you have any
3
fine grit
things.
sandpaper?
Yeah. Oh,
Oh, perfect. Scrap, great to use.
whatever people put in there.
Cool.
It's all me so far.
There's some other colors and stuff in the box, but there's bigger pieces that are more likely to use.
Okay. Where would I find your fine grits?
Pretty much all the sandpaper I have is on the top of that box, just to the right of the rocket thing.
Oh, there we go. So 600.
Doing it evenly, consistently would be what I expect to be the challenge. But
Well, that's why I'm going with 600 because it's such fine grit that you're not gonna like. You're gonna have to do it a lot to get the frosted effect. So it's not like if I was using 120, it would be really easy to like sand too much in one area, right?
Yeah.
But like 600, you can just keep going and going and going. So try this. I also want to see if I can get some of that like dark acrylic, just thin dark acrylic. And I really want to try 3D printing right on the acrylic because I had that idea and then I started looking, like I was trying to look up, can you 3D print like on acrylic and have it stick? And all I found was like people who 3D print and they're like, I'm afraid of glass on my bed. Can I put acrylic? And then they're like, well, I put acrylic on my bed instead of glass, but then my print got stuck to the acrylic and wouldn't come off. And I was like, that's exactly what I want. So like, if I can just cut a piece of acrylic to this size and then like clip it with binder clips down to the bed and then print right on the acrylic. And if it sticks.
Yeah, because it's like, I think with the printing one, I think the filaments at a higher temperature than the melting temperature of the acrylic.
Yeah.
So it should, it's like, well.
Yeah. So that might be something to try.
Yeah.
I didn't think of that. That might be a way to do it.
So this needs to be more frosted than that.
How does it look as this?
You can turn frame
I don't know, but I can just tell. I can still see details of the table through it, which tells me that's not fine enough. 220. That's pretty. No. This is experimenting.
From my favorite one. I don't have a lot of it. It's like 220, 320. Completely out.
You're at a 320 at the moment?
Yeah.
That probably would
And I
be.
have very little 220 left.
This is the only scrap of 220 I saw there. This is wet sandable. I could guess I could wet this, right? Probably make it easier.
So what makes a sandpaper not wet sandable?
Water soluble glue.
Water soluble glue and paper that gets like machine falls apart and gets wet.
Okay, because I was thinking about the sand part. It's like, what kind of sand dissolves in water? No, it's not the sand. It's the glue and the paper. Okay. Well, see, that I was thinking the wrong direction. These printers are pretty cool. It's like the big essence of what a 3D printer needs to be. And not much more than that.
I mean, it is pretty neat, like all that they crammed in there and for like $120, right? And it's small, but it works well.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far.
I mean,
it works.
It works well for what it is, right?
Okay.
Like, that obviously doesn't compare to like a high-end printer. But like, if you just need a little printer to go on your desk and you just need to print small things, like it does pretty well. Like maybe if you're not, like if you're trying to print like precision rover parts that need to fit on like 10 millimeter bearings, then But if you're like just trying to make some basic stuff, like it works pretty well. I printed some of the parts for reinforcing my big printer. I printed on this thing because my big printer was still too floppy.
Oh.
And I wanted them parts more precise.
So at one point, this was more precise than your refurb printer.
Yeah.
That is frightening thought. But okay, progress.
I mean, they're both cheap printers, right?
Yep.
Only $70 difference between them, right?
Yeah. Yeah, big sheets of stainless steel.
2 wings instead of no fin. I mean, no, it's just end on some legs.
Well, the thing that's unfortunate about the Starship is just like anything that's shiny and reflective, it's very easy to pick out surface imperfections.
Oh yeah, it's all crinkly.
So it's super crinkly.
That's normal for big sheets of metal.
But people don't usually know this and see this.
Textures like that.
Yeah.
Consumer goods, so that hides it.
Yeah. But people don't realize the things are being hidden from them. So the ignoramuses are criticizing the Starship online because they don't know any better.
And besides which, you put as little as 2 or 3 psi in there, it's going to just push it out around.
I read those comments like, oh yeah, just no shortage of ignorance on the internet. Well, not just ignorance, people who are confident in their in their ignorance.
That's
of
the
knowledge.
Dunning-Kruger effect.
Well, you got the I saw a video of a guy in a shipyard patching the hull of the ship. They cut a plate out
Mhm.
because it had a tear, so they cut it out. So they had this big rectangular hole, but there's nothing flat about the side of the ship. It's
Nope.
a compound curve.
Yep.
They're
Well, most
starting
ships.
with a sheet of 1-inch thick plate that's 8 feet by 12 feet. And they're going to stick it in this hole that's, 8 foot by 12 feet, but it's not in one plane. And what they do is they stick a corner in, and they tack weld the corner.
That one corner.
At the one corner.
Yep.
And then they got the crane that's holding it against the ship, and the artist guy, I mean, he's it there. They got this giant torch, and he's there. Okay, weld there. Keep there. Weld there. Keep there, and weld there. And after about an hour, the whole thing is just welded all the way around, and the side of the ship is just this clean conduit.
Cling to what tolerance? Because again, like the Starship.
You don't get it welded all the way around.
Okay, what's the tolerance on welding? How close you need to get?
Yeah, we'll do it in 1/8 inch or so.
Okay.
But they did some cutting, they did some cutting, and they had some lumps that they torched off and then welded.
Well, yes, that's what you call expertise. And that's what you pay for.
Into that compound curve that matched the color of the ship that was amazing. Okay. About 6 guys. One guy told me what to do, and 5 guys with various types of torch.
My arm is getting really tired.
Impressive.
So it's the heat is causing it to thermally expand or to soften it?
Yeah.
Both. Okay.
Yeah, because they heat it, not even getting glow. I mean, they just heat it there and it bend up and gets into place and it welded. Heat it in a different place and it puts it into place.
They make these things for doing bodywork on cars called shrinking discs. I don't know if you're familiar with these.
I am not familiar with
It's
that.
a big metal disc. Like I don't know if it's stainless steel, but so do you have an angle grinder? Or you used an angle? So like the big grinding wheel that you put in this thing, right? Imagine that, but made out of like solid stainless steel instead.
Okay.
And so what you do is so you have a dent, you have a dent in your car, and then you pop it out. You have to hammer from the inside to pop it out, right?
And then it's not quite right.
And then it's out,
Yeah.
and then you have dimples poking outward.
Mhm.
Well, then you take your shrinking disc on your angle grinder, and you let it spin, and you press it against that dimpled spot that's poking out, and the friction makes it really hot. And so, because there's some tension pushing it out, right? Like the metal's stretched, but then you heat it up, and then the metal sort of gets pressed back in because it's getting red hot where the disc is rubbing from all that friction. And then you let it cool off, and it tightens, it shrinks, and it pulls itself flat.
Oh, it's the cooling process that does it.
It's a combination of the heating and cooling, pulls the dent tight, and then so it flattens itself out.
So
I've never used one, but I have seen how they do it.
I imagine Dean would know this stuff. He runs a shop that does this stuff.
Yeah, Dean might know.
And then, the same question from me again is okay, to what tolerance? If it's mirror shiny, can you not tell it's there anymore, or it just depends on the operator skill?
The Bondo and sand.
Yeah, I mean, like any car repair is going to have a little bit of Bondo, but or at least some high fill primer. But just you just want it as thin as possible, because if you start putting it thick, then it cracks and looks bad. So you just want it close enough that you can fill it and then sand it and not have it be visible.
Okay.
And some of that just depends on how good you are at bodywork.
That is, as far as I can tell, indistinguishable from sculpting.
Yeah, same thing. when I had my VW bus, I decided like I don't want to use Bondo. And before they had Bondo, they did leading. I don't know if you ever heard of the term lead sled. It's like old,
It's not a little thick, huh?
the old cars.
Yeah.
That's not something heavy.
It's
Yeah.
soldered joints.
Well-
They can go away.
Well, they called them lead sleds, partly because the like solder on the joints, but also like it. Before they had Bondo, if you wanted to do custom body work or like repair dents, like you solder, and so
Just big globs of solder.
right, and so that's what I did for my bus. You can buy this big like thing of like tinning flux. You like take the sheet metal down to bare metal, and you rub the tinning flux on, and you get your propane torch and then it's just like soldering wire. And you see it like just the metal turns shiny, like it tins it, and then you have these big sticks of like lead solder, and you have this like putty knife thing, like I think it's a wood putty knife, and you heat the area and you press the solder stick into it, and it sort of melts and squishes, and then you take your like putty knife and smush it and smear it and spread it, and it sticks to the metal, and you smush and smear and spread.
You're sculpting with lead.
Sculpting with lead, and you spread it out, and then you use a rasp, like a wood rasp. Take off the high spots until you get it close, and then sand. Don't breathe the lead. Sand. And
Inhale deeply.
Yeah,
They were still doing some of that when I was in high school.
Okay.
yeah. So I did some of that on my VW bus that I used to have.
Okay.
That was before Bondo.
Yeah.
Is Bondo like Kleenex and Band-Aid a whole set of things and then just one?
Yeah.
One name.
Generally, it's, yeah.
I mean,
Probably.
there's probably multiple brands, but like if you go to Home Depot or AutoZone, like the only one they're going to have is Bondo brand.
Actual Bondo.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm positive that there are other.
It's just this.
Yeah, there are other kinds besides that. So I've been frosting this, and it looks good like this, but
I
it
think
doesn't
most of them are polyester, but
doesn't look so good. Right there.
Nope.
If anyone's trying to see, that's. I don't know if anyone's trying to talk to me. I'm not. I can't monitor the comments on this live stream because of the way the computer's set up with the TV. But
So it's
there's
go avoid into the darkness.
yeah, I can look later.
Scream
There you
into
can
the
see
void.
it. It's a little bit better. The colors show better, but in person the dots still show. Can I reach all that far over? All right, so there we go. There's the bare panel, and there's the sand frosted acrylic. So if you put it all the way up, it's like that. You have to get it pretty far away before it really starts diffusing it. And then there's no dividers, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe if I sand both sides of it. But this is a very tiring process. I wonder how it would be to laser etch the whole surface. That would take a while on the laser. And it would get yeah, like if you just engrave the whole surface to make it rough.
Yeah, certainly doable, and the benefit is your arms don't get tired.
Right. Or if I just had a sandblaster, I could sandblast this. And if I sandblasted it, then that would be pretty quick too.
Well, there's a laser cutter here, but no sandblasting. But
There's no sandblasting. But I don't even know how, I guess I would, I don't know how you like laser etch a panel that big. Like, I don't know. I'd have to play with it.
I just thought if we use the shroud, then I realized this shroud is damaged too.
The shroud is damaged? Oh,
Someone held it up against the print head, I guess.
oh yeah. That's weird.
Ring, ring.
Dave, it's for you. It's Arcadia Police
Somebody
calling.
wants to sell you something.
Yes, it is.
Isn't it always them calling? Seems like every time you get a phone
Every
call.
Monday.
What are they calling for? To raise money?
Yeah. Or they're having pancake breakfast and stuff.
Oh, well, you go get some pancakes.
Yeah, I usually get up at 5 o'clock Saturday.
I don't think they start that early.
Yes. 6 to 9.
Oh, well, you don't have to get up at 5. It's 6 to 9.
Yeah, at 6 will be there at 7.
You can get up at 7 and get there at 8 and still have an hour to eat your pancakes.
Probably going to run out of pancakes by 8.
Oh, man, they make so many freaking pancakes at those kind of things.
Uh-huh.
It's like pancakes upon pancakes upon pancakes.
I guess it hasn't been one.
They're usually kind of terrible pancakes. You're like, oh, man.
Cheap and plentiful.
Like, you paid $5 and you get, like, some dry pancakes and, like, some nasty syrup and, like, a little cup of orange juice. I don't go to those, like, pancake breakfast things anymore.
Anymore. So you did. You used
I
to.
have been to them before. What's
Hey,
up,
Nick.
Andy? What's up? Hey.
Just so you know, you are on camera, I guess.
Oh, cool.
I'm live streaming to my YouTube channel. So yeah. It's here for anyone that this is Aiden. Not that you can make out any details, but that's Aiden over there.
So you're streaming using a composite camera to a composite TV to a digital
Yes,
camera on your laptop.
that's right.
All right. There must be some very curious minds who want to tune into such a thing. But they must exist out there.
Someone thinks it's a accidental live stream. Graham, it is not accidental. It's on purpose.
Oh, so you've got the webcam onto the
Yeah, it's onto the
CRT.
TV, onto the like analog video camera.
Oh, nice.
I don't have a video capture device, so this is how you do it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
What do you mean you don't have a video capture? It's in action right now.
That's true. I don't have a dedicated video capture device.
Okay.
A purpose-built video capture device.
Yes. Me, Mr. Pedantic.
Oh, you haven't seen this thing.
Yeah, well,
Let's see if all the connections are still where they need to be. This is the guts of a project Roger and I started like in the winter. I mean, it's been a long time.
I can look at timestamps on my blog if you really want.
Anyhow, all of this was to power this little thing that we ripped out of a.
yeah, I know how that goes.
Yeah, but the project is called the Death Clock, and I hope it still turns on. Yes. Okay. So right now it's just in idle mode, but it's got a Raspberry Pi Zero. It's probably booting up right now, and this is a capacitive touch sensor that I'm going to try to get solder onto this thing tonight. And the idea is that it's all going to go in here, and it's going to look like an alarm clock, and it's going to look like an alarm clock that needs to be reset, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when you go, you
like
touch,
blinking.
yeah, and when you touch the button, which is actually just a capacitive touch sensor, like it senses you.
Yeah.
All right, so now it's booted up and it's running Roger's like Nyan Cat, like really simple like attempt to just depict Nyan Cat.
It's still on there, huh?
I
It's
like
still
it.
on there. So when you touch it, then it'll give you like a thing like it's reading you, and then it'll say, because if you look here, yeah.
I always take those units from the touch like lamps.
Oh yeah,
You know,
yeah,
they're just those old AC units. I have a couple of those at home.
yeah. So you see how you have Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday,
Yeah, yeah.
right? And then time of day. So it's just gonna randomly pick, and it's gonna say like, after it's read your finger, it's gonna say, you will die.
You die.
You will die on Sunday at 12:28 a.m. And then it'll reset itself.
Are you like converting these numeric displays to show like letters? You have like scrolling text.
Yes. I think I can't remember how you have it coded right now, Roger. It does say some text, right? If I connected the two pins that need to be connected.
I don't remember. Yes,
don't.
it said something.
Yeah.
It said something.
Are these your rockets?
I don't even
Yeah.
remember which
Nice.
pins they are anymore.
I don't remember either. I know you pointed out somewhere like on your blog or somewhere on a photo that
Where
you
do
sent
you
to me
want?
that said like which ones need to be connected where.
Yep.
I'll just see if I can figure out. I mean, I know they're like in the header But I think it's like these ones right here.
I think it's that pair. I think it's shorting that pair.
Yeah.
But I'm not confident enough to say, yeah, go ahead, short that pair, see what happens.
Right.
Everything, then let's go.
Yeah, I'm suggesting we got one. That home, that one building there, that's the second stage. The first stage got demolished, but that blue,
Oh, so this is the second stage?
that's
The whole thing?
That's the sustainer. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
In fact, actually, I flew it just by itself was my level 3 cert rocket. It went to 14,500 on down. And then I flew a Black Rock with first M1315 to M1315.
I haven't built anything larger than you can buy at a hobby shop. Nothing you need search.
That's all fiberglass.
Yeah. Although I've been working on some stuff for telemetry for rocket stuff. And put some accelerometers.
All right, point replacement complete.
Yeah,
One
I
project done.
have a flight computer that I
Are you
built.
far enough along on the CNC to do that tonight, or where are you at with
This
that?
one's 52.
I am missing the driver.
4 channel,
Oh.
Or something.
You can step on the driver.
7-stage
Ah,
stage.
Basically, something.
Plus launch.
I might be able to use that.
Plus 7.
Just curious what else you were working on
Yeah, I
tonight.
was watching some video
Um,
with some guys that
our
launched
organization's not done.
because he was trying to launch out of a homemade like silo.
Yeah.
So they compressed air, launched it out, and it was messing with the launch detect system.
Yeah.
That
Well,
mentions
yeah,
gonna be a pretty good fit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I used solar
Which was, he was. Yeah, that's what I would do.
And then use solar burnout.
Are your parts like yeah, I can do that.
And then it's an apogee to
Hey, what?
verify it.
Are there things about this project you said, yeah, that's interesting, they did that part, will you do the other things?
Then on the way down,
Anything
the
along those lines?
I'm not sure what needs to be done.
Get it out, should doing something.
The wire management?
Oh, that would be nice. Tell me where it is.
Oh, you should see what they did out.
Guess when you get this figured out, that
Yeah, well, they just.
That's how it is on the control board. Figured out where it would work, because then I know where the wires have to. So this is a super simple,
Say, okay,
Bracket.
it went up, it came down, and had GPS coordinates. They put on one.
long
stuff
term, I
together,
think I want
and
to actually
drove
close
out,
it.
no rock.
Now it's that.
What about no GPS? It's nothing, you got nothing. So they, well, wait a minute.
M3 stand.
We don't have probably 50 yards
I've
from the
never
road.
had it.
Some
To get all those figures.
rock.
All of those things
back up after back up after.
Well,
But,
yeah,
you know,
I mean, the thing is, well,
We both have tons of projects all the time,
we
so.
should GPS every time.
Yeah.
All kinds of telemetry.
Or even just like
And then
kind of
there-
transponder so you can get a loose range.
They were just on the washtop with the guys that clean up the other stuff. And you gotta get out of there. Something's wrong. But then, like,
When we play with Bart's motor with those cheap stepper drivers you got online, do we get, was the failure in the driver or how we were driving it? Why didn't it work? I don't remember why.
Guy sitting on his porch with a shotgun.
I don't know.
Okay.
We
So they called the sheriff. And we want to
It
ride
was like the Russian invasion or something.
the driver didn't like the acceleration from the Arduino.
Okay.
I was using the Excel step library.
Which I have since decided was not the best choice.
Well, I don't have it.
Because I think when I just had
The one that's straight.
the Arduino giving step and directions to the driver without trying to accelerate, it was really nice and smooth. It just, without acceleration, like you couldn't go very fast, right? Because it couldn't go from 0 to like this fast instantly. So I needed acceleration to ramp up. But when I used the Excel stepper to do acceleration, remember it would be all noisy, be like, just sort of grindy sounding.
Yeah.
So it was like it's like the library wasn't putting out a good signal to the driver. I think the driver is fine. I'm sure they're not. I'm sure they're not great. But
I don't know. I was looking at the drivers of that form factor, which seems to be pretty common.
Yeah.
And the cheapest ones have lots of people complaining about problems, and then others saying, "Oh, this works fine." It's like, I wish I know what's different with their setups and know what makes it work well, what makes it not.
Probably like one person got one that has good capacitors, and one person got one that has like capacitors from the other factory in Shenzhen that are like bad capacitors, and so like the tolerances are worse and it doesn't operate well or something.
Yes, that or like they're driving different motors.
Could be. Maybe there's a range of like the driver works well within this range of volts and this range of amps, and if you get too far outside of that, then even though it says like it'll work from 0 to 50, maybe like above 35 it doesn't work well. It works, but it doesn't work well, and like one person's running at 20 and it's great, and another person's trying to run at 40 and it's awful.
Something like that. And you can never get this kind of detail on Amazon reviews.
Right.
It's just, it sucks. It's great.
I know.
Yeah, not your problem. I know.
Yeah.
I just generally griping.
Yeah.
Anyway, I saw a few that more promising than the others. They start at $12 or something.
I think the ones I bought were $12. So those are probably the same ones I have.
Okay. And the ones that are about 30, starting about 30, you can review some people. Yeah, man, I should have just bought these to begin with.
Well, probably for a CNC, it's more important that they be good than for Bart. Like if Bart is driving and he doesn't drive quite straight, like I'm still using a joystick or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But on your CNC, if it's like, oh, well, I just wasn't going quite straight, and now your part is cut wrong, like, that's not so good.
Well, I'm hoping a decent one is in Sean's pile.
What are you working on?
What's that question to me?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the control board for the CNC computer.
Oh, nice.
So maybe one day an aspiring CNC project. Some Y were salvaged off of something that was getting tossed.
Yeah, Scott, the stream is much higher definition than the CRT. Yeah, Graham, don't worry about it. It's just live streaming our meetup tonight. We're not doing anything in particular. We're just hanging out.
Looks like there's gotta be For your streaming, can you choose your streaming quality? Are you streaming at 4K, ultra high def, and have it pointed at a little CRT?
I think it's probably streaming out like whatever YouTube's streaming quality is. I don't know that. To be honest, I didn't look if there was an option.
Okay.
I just clicked stream and it started going.
Right.
It let me pick a title. Let me pick if I wanted to start it now. It let me pick a thumbnail image, and that was it.
Oh yeah, what thumbnail image would you use? Because if you don't have the video feed to pull from.
Well, because it turns on your camera, and then it just like whatever your camera's looking at.
Okay.
So like if you're streaming yourself working on something, you just like look up at the camera and smile and press like thumbnail.
Okay.
Oh, I told Natalie about that and she was really excited.
Runs away. It's like, because I built this prototype a while back, and I've just been every once in a while open up and start building new circuitry for it. Because it started out being just being a bunch of lasers hooked up to a serial connection.
Yeah.
Then I had that plugged in to the power supply and the control board, but I tried to make it one compact unit.
Sure.
And of course, the only thing I'm missing is the one with all the lasers on. I can't find it anywhere. Disappeared in the closet.
Ran away.
Yeah. I
Joined
moved
the
it
circuit.
Somewhere, so it's one of those things.
Well, I have plenty of room in here to fit all this circuitry, so that's good. think also I want to add something to this. So Sean has been making these like faux vacuum tubes because he has all that glass blowing equipment,
Mhm.
and so he's making like little glass ampules. They're like closed on one end and they're blunt on the other end, and then he puts a little orange LED inside of them,
Oh,
and then
that'd be cool.
3D prints a little tiny base for the glass to fit into. And he gave me a couple. And I think it'd be fun to put a couple down inside of here because you won't really be able to see them clearly except through these slits.
They're like making it look like there's some.
Yeah, they just be like, make them just be on, but then when it's analyzing you, they can like blink or flash or something. I think that'd be fun.
You should take get some blue LEDs, put them on the bottom. On top of that, put a little piece of metal pipe with end caps. Then just leave it to their imagination.
Yeah.
It's always fun to get calls on you.
Yeah, that is fun. I do worry about that. I a lot of times like I go places and I have my electronics projects like sitting in my car. And they're just like masses of wires and circuits and stuff. And I'm like, man, I hope someone doesn't like park next to me and be like, oh my God, there's bombs in that car. And then like I come out and like my car is surrounded by bomb squad. Like one time when I worked at the paper, we got, I think we heard over the police scanner that there was the bomb squad was at Covina Park in Covina, like investigating a package. And so my editor told me to get over there. We got over there and like they have the robot out and the robot's like got the thing for blowing things up on the end of it. And they have the whole park like cordoned off. And there's a guy over on the side and he's like, stop, it's my briefcase. I forgot my briefcase, like please. But by then it was too late. Like protocols had started and it was like some aluminum, like Pelican case kind of thing. So it didn't just look like a leather briefcase. It was like a metal briefcase that he had left on the bench. And he was like, please. And they were like, sorry. And they blew his briefcase up and it had his computer inside of it. And he was pretty upset.
But he's probably never going to make that mistake again.
Yeah, probably not.
Really? Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, it sucks to be him, huh?
It happened at my university once, except it was actually just a grenade shell.
Oh, I mean,
it
that's
was a disarmed grenade shell. Had no charge in it. But
You
it
can't
was,
tell that by looking.
Yeah. They found that out. It was weird. It was like, who left in the strangest thing was it was like, I don't know, it was like a gym. So it was like,
Sean was just tuning into the live stream when he heard me talking about his vacuum tubes.
do it.
I wonder if Natalie's coming tonight. She said she was going to come because she was going to show me something, but she's usually here by now.
Well, the car just pulled up.
Oh, yeah, go to the front door. Speak of the devil.
Hi, Natalie.
That's fine. This is actually the most table space I've ever seen.
Yeah,
Why is this so clean?
because Dave got the 3D printer out of here.
Oh, no, there's more stuff that's being cleaned out.
Well, probably when he moved the printer, then we're live streaming. This is
Oh, to your channel or something?
yeah, it's from there to here to the webcam to the channel.
You're what, 5,000 followers? But
Oh, I don't have 5,000 followers on
99 followers.
YouTube. I think I have like 900 on YouTube.
I guess that means I need to watch my mouth and I can't say.
Nah, you can say anything you want.
Is there audio on that?
Yes, it's a live stream.
No.
If it was
Hello,
just the
strangers.
camera, then it wouldn't be any audio. But the webcam is capturing, so the speaker, the microphone, and the laptop.
This live stream is giving me fare too pervy.
I know, someone said that. Hi, Rad Nukes People's Minds.
Circuit for a laser glow. This is the graphic.
Oh, you're the Glover.
Glover.
No, Rad Nukes. This is not how streams normally are. I'm doing a analog video stream here, so I'm using an old video camera and an old TV. If this was a normal stream, it would be higher quality.
I'm just building it as a breakout board. And then it's going to be hooked up to 18985. Just controlling the these lasers are running on separate. Well, no, they're going to share power supply actually. But they're not involved in this.
Okay.
This is just for the frequency analysis circuit.
I guess I can switch to regular broadcast. I think we've tested out this analog video thing enough.
Are people tired of the low flash?
Well, I don't know. Like, people are like, is there something wrong with the live stream? One guy was like, this feels too pervy to watch.
Is this live stream?
Yes, it's live streaming this to this, and then the webcam is pointing at the TV screen because I don't have a video capture device. So, but I think I'm just going to spin the laptop around now and let it do a proper live stream. Much nicer quality than it was.
Oh my gosh, I'm on YouTube.
You are on YouTube. Say hi. This is Sean. Yes. Hello, Sean.
Who's Sean?
The screen door effect is so hypnotizing, but I think people were just confused.
Oh, did you switch it to this camera?
Well, it was always on this camera, but this camera was just pointed at the TV screen before, so it's very like jury-rigged live stream. Like,
Why?
because I brought these things because I was going to look at them, but then I was like, hey, it might be fun to like let people look at an old TV and an old video camera. But I think people were just.
You're streaming a video of a video.
I was streaming a video of a video. Yes,
Okay.
that's right. But now we'll just stream a video instead of a video of a video
Because it's retro cool.
because it's retro cool. That's right, Rue.
So this camera's
That camera is now turned off, but I can turn it back on if you want to just. Here, we can do some experiments. You want to do one, it's like psychedelic experiments where you point the camera at the TV. All right, TV's back on, and we got the camera back on.
Were there any modifications made to this TV?
No, stock TV. Let's see if you
Oh,
get that right up there.
ooh. Look at the light.
Yes, look at the light.
It's so mesmerizing.
Yeah. See if anyone. There you can see the
Oh,
psychedelic TV experiments.
what is real? What is not?
Ah, that one's pretty cool.
It's like a lava lamp, but in like 4 dimensions.
That's right.
Sorry.
I need something to prop this up on.
Not the stuff coming off of it. Yeah.
Let's
Although,
take
if
that
you
out.
split the components into several circuit boards,
And then if I tilt that up there, I just need something stuck on
That's
the
what we
front.
want to do.
it'll break out.
Oh, that's too much stuff on the front.
Which of the rock?
Oops.
There we go.
Yeah. Well, you don't
There's some video
necessarily
feedback.
do it yourself. You can get them manufactured.
Look at all them blobs.
Who is cutting acrylic?
Yeah.
No one right now. These are scraps from the SGVHAK laser cutter. I was trying to frost acrylic with sandpaper for experimenting with these LED matrix diffusers.
some of them I can't like. On my first version,
So
I was
guys-
using an 18 mega 25 to 60. And it was
What language?
yeah, I heard people were up on
I need something a little thinner in there.
And you see, they use the ESP to see Arduino.
That's also controlling the on-off.
Arduino C, which is not really C.
No,
C++.
that's- Needs to be up a little.
Oh, yeah, yeah. That's controlling the
Subset of
safety.
the C++ language.
No, Rue, we do not have a sandblaster, but a sandblaster would have been perfect for that.
I can believe it.
It'll pass. Well, for RC motor control.
I know, I'm not kidding.
Yeah, so if you're flying your airplane, the logic, like, let's say the microcontroller fails, it'll automatically shut off. Like it'll automatically switch back to being just pass through. So we'll just pass through the signal for the servos, like it would normally with a normal RC receiver. So yeah, that's controlled by the little onboard microcontroller. The other ones, motor control, servo control, temperature sensors.
Shim it with the sandpaper.
Yeah. So if you have
I don't think so. I don't- Does anyone here have a spare microwave transformer? I'm being asked.
Let me get it out of my bag now.
I do at home.
Yeah, Sean, I have some spare ones at home.
Why
Let's get more here to double digits now.
I have a transformer? I don't know if it's microwave rate.
What does the microwave do for you?
I think Sean wants to build a Tesla coil, a vacuum tube Tesla coil. Right, Sean?
Well, you can do that with like. Well, I'm not gonna get into that.
Depends on the language. Arduino C++ or C++? What abstracts?
Well, kind of.
It's been a while.
It's okay. I had someone at the hackathon of like how it should do like.
So you guys probably can't see it too well on the video because it looks just basically white. But there's some cool colors in here.
That's a shame it's not coming across.
I mean, you can see it a little bit, but it's mostly just white over there.
Color camera controls? I don't see anything there.
Probably not.
Okay. That's a shame.
Is that Sean Lennon? I don't know. Sean Lennon? I don't know what Sean Lennon has to do with anything right now.
I don't know when I
Ground, what are we talking about? All right, what was I doing? So this can go right here.
This chair's comfy.
So you're just trying to look it up, like.
Yeah, but the structure is a little.
All right, you want this tilted? There. You weren't missing anything, Rue. I was just marking something with a marker.
So you're gonna be taking a value in. You read this?
No, it's someone else's.
What's up, Mike? Yeah, what is all that? Scale AV.
So do you know the function that you
Yeah, there was progress. Progress.
No, like that. There's something up here.
Yes, Rue, this is the VFD. I'm getting ready to start putting it into a case here.
Yes. There's also the smaller stuff.
But I don't think there's a lot I can do tonight because I have to
So wouldn't you just
I have to fabricate brackets to hold stuff. So I don't think there's a lot I'm going to do on this right now. Yes, the death clock.
Okay, so you want to get. This is center outputs. State value. You want to get the set value from the.
Their sensor brushes is the whole. Yeah. Oh, Mike, did you bring that motor?
I did not try it.
Okay.
I remember I was like, I would work on.
This is like in between a makerspace and someone's garage.
Start putting connectors on one of the.
This is a warehouse business that one of our group members lets us meet in.
So this is what that one returns, right? But it's just for each of that.
Is there anything I can help with on this?
Well, really,
It saves you like, looks at the value, like gets the value.
I haven't thought about how you got that at all. If you wanna,
Okay.
put some fun into that. Let's put
So it's right here, it's return the value.
we still have these shafts.
Ah.
A bracket, a shaft
I
drive.
don't mind on a slope of
Yeah.
In the shaft.
Yeah.
I was going to. I totally was planning to, and then I was like, which day?
I
was just waiting. I'm gonna bring days. I'll bring Scalabby stuff. So I packed up the Scalabby stuff and left the motor. I totally was planning to
Do something other than pen plug, but for the purpose of pen plugs,
Ah.
Fields,
I mean,
where does it get value?
That's a $100. It is. I ordered a. I was sitting there going, alright, so do I?
it's for pen plug, it's like super rigid.
Do I
Even if it's just held up here, it's not even flexible.
cave the land? I was like, you need to make
If
a
we were
box
trying to
of
use a tool,
assorted colors. Or do I just make them all
oh,
clear?
just for tonight, I would zip tie it on.
So I ordered a set of.
We have time to get
exact
started.
samples.
Yeah.
Stuff to think about it.
these are the pieces.
Yeah.
I was
Oh, that's a very.
I mean, the front, that's all we need. I need
Yeah,
a little
that
clear.
value is
I need this
variable.
design because it's.
And your get or data type variable for what I was saying.
It's suddenly like
There's
Yeah.
get value.
complicates the cutting patterns because then they'll come out like
Real object.
two different sets. Make it come out.
It's just weird because they have
I ordered samples so we can judge their.
No, they first so
colors.
different.
I looked at it.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
like
Yeah, put a price on
$40
there.
$40 or
And
something.
then in the
Yeah, just
For
in the age.
14 more cases.
Yeah,
so they have the next second.
It's
So
like
I decided I'll order the samples first.
Yes.
I was about to today. I was about to just order all of it.
So you would have to like
The parts that you purchase.
so you have to get
You're the one
value.
doing it, so
Every time you find something, we put it in the
Yeah.
quote.
that looks like
Yeah, I mean, just like,
It is nice.
you can see those like a bar in here.
the orange top on a clear
I mean,
bottom.
you can just put probably a bolt through here. Bolt through
So if
here,
you're-
and like have
Plus,
a
we'll have like it's
a
good
plate and
hour.
bolts on right here, and
It's
then
not
bolts through
2.5,
there,
like
and then just like tighten that.
2.75
Top,
inch,
and then plate on the bottom, and then it's basically that.
squared.
Yeah.
As color samples, in the worst case, we have a set of color samples of like, so
Oh.
we'll understand what they are. So we can compare.
Ah,
And
where's
then the
that
other
green
question
piece
was,
that we have?
apparently it's like $10 cheaper
Take it home.
to ship to a business address.
Yes.
FedEx is one of
Let's look in Dave's job, see if there's
them.
anything
There's one delivered
that I can use.
And whether it's worth drilling some drilling holes here or try to use those two holes on the bottom that involves
Yeah.
No, I knew that one of them.
Does it? You could just tap. But I didn't know.
Yeah, we're not looking for too much in the way of holding force.
Yeah, sandblasting booth would be cool, but I think we're a little bit tight on space.
It might take an extra day because.
Who would back the idea of sending Emily a remote presence robot for these streaming sessions? So you can't see it really too well. Where are they? All right, so you see those gray wheels down there?
I knew one of them was.
There's a pair of them sitting among those cardboard boxes. That was our group's telepresence robot that never got finished.
Now I have this hilarious package.
It's around, so maybe we should just finish that.
They said they attempted to deliver it on Thursday.
Cool.
No one showed up at the front door because I was notified someone.
They couldn't find your house.
Yeah.
It's hidden down now.
I've never had a problem with UPS or FedEx finding my house. Right? Like, because they have their system is smart enough to tell them where it is. Right? Because worst case, it tells you it's halfway down the driveway instead of 3/4 down the driveway. Like on the, if you look at the whatever that is, the GIS systems say it's about halfway down the driveway. But then it says it's at the end of the driveway, but it's only like halfway, like conceptually, whatever. And I've never had a problem with UPS or FedEx. Thursday, they said no one was home, they find a safe Tuesday, Friday, it's like saying out for delivery, and it's available. And then on Saturday, and then later in the day on Friday,
No, so I have
reading plus subscriptions.
So
It's not like a box.
They've like somehow this package is only shop within the United States. They lost my package.
You know?
I'm pretty sure.
So if it's like, oh, the base goes off, the middle one goes, and then like the mid, maybe the outside.
So like, and then, so now the guy like now it takes us contact with Amazon.
My review all over the map. That's the value.
But
But yeah, it's
totally
on this
But
chip.
FedEx isn't, but UPS isn't.
So you have to send up high-low points for the strobe. They'll switch to frequency bands.
I didn't look into the details of it.
Me neither.
It's basically just
starting to build a processor territory and
I didn't know like it's like an issue.
I switched from computer to
What's the difference?
I thought they
3 years
still
ago,
using the same thing.
and switch to this.
I couldn't.
And it's got some
I knew it has.
Do you know if we have any of the
processors.
all that crap, all that metal stuff that's that goes in the rover? Do you know if that's around somewhere?
There's a lot of guys.
Like incorporated metal bits, the channels and all that
Well, yeah.
stuff.
I don't know why you say the form factor. Okay. It's all the ground board now. You just have some bare space.
I think because
The long and bloody tail.
there's like a cachet involved with having a small device.
True.
It makes for real
I
power.
spend most of my time with the digital.
Yeah, that's gonna be. I found the foot now. I just found the foot at the bottom of the box.
That's a big square.
Adam Savage had his.
Yeah, I got order from John.
Well, yeah. I actually almost
I know it's in the box.
Since it doesn't have to happen tonight, it doesn't.
And also the
technical section.
Ideally, it would be something that so we can stick a rubber band on, so that when we push down, it can spring up on a rubber band,
Yeah, that would have been nice.
and then pull up. It snaps against the stop.
Yeah.
So that we can zero to a particular distance and not also have to worry about how far to go to. Like we can go a little bit too far and then have
Right.
rubber band back in. Ideally, I don't know how
Yeah, that
feasible
makes
is.
sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Yes, Rue, this is Dave's. He calls it his photon cannon. It's for one of his rovers. It's a big pan and tilt headlight. Yeah, there you go. There's the LED array in there. Oh, man, if only these holes were tiny bit smaller. It's like, I guess I could put tape on them, and, but I don't like that. Yeah, that'd be
There's
nice.
something about their Teslas. Makes me just
trying to figure out something.
and I said, like, no, I'm gonna like,
V-shape.
I'm gonna drive this car when I bought the car, it's gonna be 7 to 10
Hmm.
years
Um,
before I can think about another car. But then I was like, after.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking about that.
Okay, so it's here to town. I would let myself buy it at 0. But I should be working on this.
okay,
That's my thought on it. But no, I want to.
that's too big.
I wouldn't want to have it. I'm not a
All right. Well, if you want features, I need to think about this a bit.
Yeah, so like, I like
Well, if you think that you'll be at a place tonight where you could actually test it, oh, but you said Dave has them around.
I mean, not that like.
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
I am.
There are many things that have to do.
Yeah, well, that's why when I was 8, that's one of my problems. Like, don't do that.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Like, so these leaders trying to like.
And they
trying to
redefine the
think of
function.
this off of people that have looked at, like,
Yeah,
I
it's
think
function
so.
used
Because
as
I'm
C++.
just like, gotta go. So
Yeah.
to in the.
I find myself with that all the time,
Which was also a variable.
and I'm 3 seconds behind the guy in front of me. And it's all
That's a really
I get off the
confusing
same
way
place,
to write
and I'm
code.
at the exit, and
It's
don't mention-
highly unnecessary. Like, you could just use that function call once in your main code.
Our neural system do it.
Would that be what they call a high level
Use the same
function
drive
that
every day for
redundant?
Yes, it's just autopilot gauges and I'm thinking about whatever project.
Just when I used to write C++ for projects,
Well, it's not good, it's not something
it's like
probably wouldn't.
you got extra points on your assignments if you like used up less like cycles. Like used up less memory. It was like don't do stuff. It just like requires a whole bunch of points. Like
Yeah, that's on
I picked the wrong major. I've been jumping computer engineering anyways.
it's overkill.
I don't know. You could have gone to journalism school. Could have done something really dumb.
Yeah, you could have switched it.
We had a journalism program?
Yeah.
I
I mean, it's not its own major. The major is communications.
Which Cal Poly were you at?
Pomona.
Oh, no.
Just like now.
There's a bunch of
Broncos.
Pomona.
Yeah, those.
You should have gone slow. That was like.
I should have gone to slow too.
That is a decision that I made that I keep kicking myself over.
Actually, what I should have done is gone to frickin' Stanford that I got into.
You got to Stanford?
Yeah, but then I was like, oh, it's gonna cost too much money. I don't know how I'm gonna afford it. Not even thinking like, oh, maybe financial aid.
I don't have an M3 bottom.
Yeah,
it really don't.
I also got into Berkeley and I didn't go there either because UC Irvine gave me $9,000 and I was like, oh, $9,000, I have to take it.
That's a great idea.
So I should have gone anywhere besides Irvine because then maybe I wouldn't have dropped out of school the first time.
I went to Santa Cruz, but yeah, it was like that, Davis, and Slow, and I was like, man.
Berkeley said they didn't want me to have too many pages.
Oh,
Berkeley said I didn't know anything about aerospace engineering. They were right.
are you supposed to already know something about aerospace engineering before you even start school? Is that like a new thing? Like you already have to be an aerospace engineer to go to aerospace engineering school?
I didn't have the grades for it anyway.
No.
I did get into Cal Maritime. Now that is a school.
What do you want, Rue? What? Cal Maritime. That's kind of a cool school.
Yeah, one of their dorms is a ship.
Yeah. That's just like you go to school to work on ships, right?
Yeah.
Not like you could be like kind of like a ship captain or
Which is what my high school job test said I should be. It was like, you know, everyone's like, oh, you should be a lawyer, you should be a, you know, veterinarian. Mine was like, you should be a ferry boat captain or a tank sergeant.
You could still be a ferry boat captain, which sounds like the worst kind of captain to be. Just like drive your boat back and forth across a river all day long.
It should be a river.
I guess. I mean, I guess if you worked in like Seattle, maybe it'd be okay. 'Cause
I
you'd be
used
going to house.
I used to work on Catalina Island, and that ferry boat ride is like fun.
Yeah, and like,
Pen,
how many times a day?
don't let her boss you around. Who am I bossing around? Rue, what is your idea?
There's only 2 times a day you can get that boat.
All right, Roger. I got the shepherd
It's like
driver.
a 2-hour traveling
It's
flight.
not trying to retap that.
I don't want to interrupt you, but here's your shepherd driver.
All right, Emily. How do you reckon this thing was assembled?
Oh, what happened? You
Just-
took it
there's-
apart?
There's no, a kid destroyed it.
Sorry, where
Oh,
did this glove
is it?
come from again, you said?
My bag.
No, I mean like,
No.
It's just being literal. I mean, all right. So, what is your question? Like,
Amazing
before you
lights.
put it in your bag.
Further in the past.
Amazing lights.
what is your question? If this is broken.
Yeah. How do you reckon they assembled it? Because there's there's nothing like.
All right.
I think there's something to do with those hoses, but like I can't.
Well, since the LED has a lip on it,
Really similar to this student that I tutored. His name was whatever.
my guess,
And he
because
made
this-
company called Future.
because the LED's gonna have a lip on the bottom end of it, right?
Yeah, that's a good company.
My guess is maybe that they molded the LED into the rubber.
Oh, really?
I mean, it's like pretty solid in there.
Is it? So it's basically unrepairable
I
then.
don't know, maybe not.
I'm trying to figure out how.
Nothing's unrepairable.
You can always repair something. So someone says you should have.
not going off.
Someone says you should have been a ferry boat captain in Hawaii and you have to drive between all the islands or sail.
How about I be a ferry boat passenger and you drive me between the Hawaiian Islands
That works too.
for free?
It was gonna work all the way up to the for free part.
Right.
Right? Like I pay you to be my personal.
how did
boat.
this
So
kid
it's just
break your
this one
glove?
LED that's not working.
There's two.
really?
That one's not working at all. The other one's like partially working.
Are you sure it's broken on this end and not?
Yeah, if you wiggle it around here,
Oh yeah.
so it's
Oh, you can see. Yeah, it's a connection problem.
yeah.
We'll just get an X-Acto knife. And I'm surprised they're
I would
using
just-
a wire gauge that thin on.
I would push it in like
RGBs
this,
anyways.
and then drip super glue in those holes, and then just hold it.
I didn't bring my.
that works. That is
You know, try it, right?
terrible. That's terrible, but it works.
I mean,
you can hot glue
it
it,
might work.
super glue it.
Yeah, just
I got some fix-it glue in my box.
I fixed an LCD panel because like the
Glue.
wires were coming off, like they were peeling off the glass. So I pressed them back down, and then put super glue and like squeezed it with clothespins until it dried, and then I put silicone all over it as like a strain relief.
So they just soldered it and then like molded it in.
Maybe.
Probably they probably cast it that way
Oh.
or something. Injection molding. Or
I mean-
from those two
Well, I want to
bolts.
open it up in case the solder is.
Oh well, let's cut it open then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
I'm gonna get new ones anyways.
You know, I was debating on whether or not to bring like my silicone, because I had a big old bottle of silicone.
Oh yeah. Well, so they
And
made
I
an
was
exacto
like,
knife, right?
oh no, not gonna cast anything, but we could have totally just made a copy of that thing,
We could have.
cast it into place.
Dave probably has exacto knives on his desk over there.
Well, here is some fix-it adhesive.
Cool. He's gonna say there's a bunch and they're somewhere.
This is probably the better one.
You want to cut or should I cut?
Do you want to get the views? Or I get it?
I mean, I can point the camera at you.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I do not like the camera. What do you reckon it is, rubber?
It feels like rubber coated plastic.
The other one is like
Speaking of rubber coated, I forgot what.
So you're gonna have to chop it pretty good.
Yeah.
Looks like it's cutting well though.
Well, I feel like I'm doing a dissection.
You are dissecting it.
Yeah, but like of an animal or something.
Maybe it is.
Oh, no, I meant.
It's a little gremlin that like
That's
flips
right.
a bunch of switches.
Right, you're cutting him in half right now. If you listen carefully, you can hear him screaming.
Yeah, I wish I
Here
brought
we
that.
go. We're inside.
Oh, that was easy.
That was the hardest part of the laser glove project, is getting the housings to work right for the lasers. Because I got really cheapo laser pointers from eBay.
Is that silicone or glue or what? I don't know. Is it hard?
This one's hard. It looks like it's set in epoxy.
This is definitely just plastic of some sort.
Well,
Emily, when is your next meetup there? Probably. Rue, we meet here every Monday.
This is partially injection molded, partially something else, because I put this extra piece on here.
Yeah.
so this is epoxy then.
Which this
Well,
one's,
it can
this
still be
one's
cut out.
not
We can replace
injection
that with hot
molded.
glue.
Yeah. So I wonder if this is a solder problem or if there's a break in the wire.
Can't see.
I think it's probably just pulled on it. It looks like it's, of course it's stranded wire, so it's probably just
I
bent
see
a
it.
couple of
I don't know if you cut this
connections.
right now, but I see that wire. See, it's got that thing going there in the wire.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know if that got cut right now while you were opening it or if that was broken already.
No, I think that was broken already. Okay, so we. Well, let's open it up so we can continuity test it.
Okay.
I'm so afraid of this knife slipping and killing me.
Oh, well, you could use Dave's pan of ice to hold that thing. It would clip to this table here.
Oh well, I'm trying to pry it.
Ideally, you plan your motion so that if you slip in the direction of your force, that's not where your finger is.
Yeah,
Ideally.
that's the ideal thing.
Now, I have
Don't-
a question
don't
for
cut
the
yourself.
live stream. What color should I use for my output wire?
They'll answer you in 5 minutes, so you're gonna be waiting.
Wait, is
Well,
there a
no,
delay?
it'll take me longer than that to make
Okay.
the decision myself.
Okay.
Is there a satellite delay?
No, just they're off doing it. They're probably going to the bathroom right now, or eating chips, or
I mean,
talking to their cat, or
Normal things that people do.
yeah, and they're not. Ian Hanchin says green, so
I'm not
there's
sure
your
if I
answer.
can open this without destroying it.
green it is.
I'm going with green.
Green it is.
You reckon we could open this without destroying it? But it's cast in epoxy.
Dámelo. I'll do it.
No hablo español.
Okay.
Give me it.
it's all-
Da is give.
I
Me
also
is
didn't
me.
bring my
Lo is it.
epoxy.
No, notice I had some of that too.
Yeah, let's use that pan of ice. This would make life a lot easier. This feels like a polyethylene. It's hanging from the bottom of his workbench.
Actually,
It cuts really easy. It cuts like wax, and it feels like it's probably polyethylene.
This thing?
Yeah. You never use this thing?
Yeah.
This is pretty nice.
did one of you already nick the installation of white wire here?
No, I think that's the
Oh, I
problem.
love those.
Oh, it's
guys.
brown? Okay.
Might be hard hot glue. Oh,
Ideally, we'll expose it and then cut the wire and resolder it, I guess.
yeah.
Just squish it.
Yes.
How much time I have drill?
Squish it. What?
What is an F drill?
Was in the right direction the first time.
Never cut towards yourself.
Might be hard hot glue. I see that under rubber molded stuff
Yeah, that's interesting.
a lot. Cut away from the fingers.
Yes.
Is that Scott from Adafruit or is this some random Scout?
I don't know. Who's Scott from Adafruit?
He makes these videos, but I met him at Hack
Oh, look, there's a little circuit board in there. I didn't even see that.
Is that really a circuit board? Or is
Well, it's green PCB material.
it's just a PCB with some water to it?
Well, that's still a circuit board. right? There's wires on one and an LED on the other. It doesn't have to have other discrete components to be a circuit board, right?
They put a circuit board on those?
Yeah, I don't think there's a controller or anything necessarily, but
Well, of course not. It's
Yeah.
one LED.
you never know. Sometimes.
Oh, that, you know what? That answers my question. Because I was like, that's a really, really flimsy gauge of wire to be soldering to an LED.
Yeah.
But if they're soldering it into a board, their connections are all more stable.
Or you can look at this. There's this. Here's a micro switch with a circuit board. This is solder right to the switch, but I didn't.
I have one of those. That. I don't know that.
This is random stuff.
Random Scott.
Oh, no, wait.
Cut away
no,
from
wait.
the
I thought you
fingers.
were looking at something else.
No,
I wonder
a micro switch
if this
Oh,
is
shit. I didn't even see that.
PCB.
if this is hard hot
Oh,
glue,
this
then
is
the
a
heat
little
gun might
reed switch.
soften it. So you can try the heat gun and see if that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's coming
See, this
out.
is just a
Just gonna have to whittle it
connector,
away.
yeah. Yeah, that's why they. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the same thing. Yeah,
same
yeah.
thing.
There's white wires in those.
I just found out
Probably
I
the
have two
ground.
versions of this, and this is not the
Common.
last version.
Red, green, and blue, and then
There's like this
common.
microphone.
You want to try
thing.
heat pin then?
I'm like, well, it's
Yeah,
got a
I'll
couple
cut this a little
components
bit. You know where it is? It's over by the soldering.
Gosh darn LCD screen keeps coming on.
Is it alive?
Not yet.
Dude, that's the heaviest 3D looking like hot glue gun I've ever seen.
Isn't it?
Writing down my part list.
It looks like it has the temperature, a temperature 1 and a temperature 2.
It's pretty intense. Oh, we don't have an outlet
Also,
on the
this is
side.
assuming that I don't need to amplify it.
Oh, we
If I
can-
need to amplify it, then
There's one at the end though, right?
There's one over here.
I already have that circuit drafted out. Not worried.
If she had a spare RGB LED, then sure. But we don't have that on hand, so we're gonna see if we can reuse this one.
Oh, I do.
Oh, do you?
Probably.
All right,
Common
well,
cathode or common
Answer's
anode?
that. If we can't fix this, then maybe we
So
can
you
use that.
have a pill case for RGB LEDs.
Oh, I have a couple of. Some of this soldered together because they went up into these moldy crystals. But this one actually has a wire connected to it. I'm not sure anymore.
Hey, look at that.
These are coming
It's hot glue?
It's like it's melting. See, it's turning all clear.
Oh, okay.
Excellent. I scraped that.
Smoking a little.
Oh yeah, just a little. Oh yeah.
Oh,
look
it
at
is
that.
hot glue.
Yeah. Interesting.
Oh,
This
Now we
looks
know.
like
Oh, I fucked this up.
scalpel.
Yeah.
I think these are common cathode, but I'm not sure.
I mean, we already got this.
Oh, okay.
Well, let's keep it handy just in case.
Yeah.
We might still fuck this up. So
well, this is why. Why do I have so many green ones? They're like
You're asking that as if we might have the answer to it.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you have to get this one back.
I think it was those more of a philosophical question of like, what am I doing with my life? Why do I have so many green ones?
Don't ask me that question.
Maybe you should
Ask myself that.
You know what? They probably came for
Oh,
display.
look, the green one might have been the broken one.
Here, do you need a lamp too?
I think they're all just busted. We're just cutting them off.
Well, in that case, let's just cut them off. We don't have wire cutters over here, do we?
I do in my first case.
I'll grab some. Don't worry.
Oh yeah, I have a multi-tool in my pocket.
Those things are like amazing.
Running for the tools. Wire cutting, right?
Oh, I grabbed some, but thank you.
I don't know anyone.
Oh, look at everyone got their multi-tools out. Where's my multi-tool?
Right.
It's in my bag. I'm just gonna cut these so I can
Where's my multi-tool?
more easily get to this. You can work on cleaning those off.
It's so busted.
I didn't have it on the books anyways.
This is why my schedule keeps getting fucked up.
There's 2 versions out
Are
there.
we supposed to be somewhere else?
Did not
No,
succeed.
it's just my schedule. So I put in a task
Basically, I lived
on my phone that reminds me to get the mail every day.
Okay.
And it just somehow propagated my whole Google Calendar. Like every day, it tells me to get the mail at weird random times.
Oh man, you know what I?
Because my phone keeps like my phone screen keeps
No,
opening up
I
in
just
my
didn't
pocket.
keep track of which
And
wires went to
having
where.
events, get mail. It just keeps changing the time of it.
Yeah.
Well, I know that.
It's okay. There's another light that's broken, so we're gonna have to take
And
apart
then
that one
update
too.
my calendar.
All right. Well, this one's the green one,
So I get reminded to
and
get
this looks like the
mail
common
3 times a
cathode.
day.
So as long as we get the common cathode in the right
You're
place,
gonna get your
the
mail.
worst that we're gonna do is
I'm
put
gonna
the
get
colors
one
in the
now.
wrong places, and then they'll just
Man,
flash
it's
a little
all
bit
bad
different.
now,
But they
too.
flash. Well, there is like a slow flash also, right? Don't cut it too short because then it won't reach all the
Yeah,
way to
yeah,
your
but
finger.
it was broken.
Oh, fine. Fine.
We have extra length on it too. Now, do we have a tiny wire strip here?
No, you have to.
I'll get my hand, I'll do it with my hand.
No, I want to-
Well, you know what you can do. If you don't want to, you can also just heat it with like a lighter and just pull the insulation off of your fingernails.
Yeah. Does that work better than like just stripping it?
Well, if you don't have a stripper to go that small, then you have to kind of do it with a knife, right? And then you end up cutting some of the strands.
I end up using the one on this one and then just like going through
That is a
color.
tiny gauge. You're not gonna have much luck setting these.
Dude, that's like
We'll have luck.
you have like
You'll have
single
luck.
strands of
Well,
wire
no.
right here.
You will get it done, but I'm not saying you'll have luck. You know what I mean?
Oh, it'll probably be kind of awful, but as long as we can get them stripped, then it'll be
If we
fine.
destroy
You
these,
know,
it's
if we
okay.
had a,
I'm gonna get a new one in a month.
If you had
There you
just
go,
like
you can see
little
that, right?
tiny pieces of
Yes,
metal
there's
that you
4
could
pins.
Clamp on it.
Oh, I destroyed it.
No!
Little end clamps, you know?
Here, you do it.
What?
I guess we should
No.
use the heat gun
They're more like
method.
these things.
Unless someone has a
You see
lighter.
these little guys like what you have here?
Hey, Aiden, do you have a lighter?
Yeah, I just put one there for you.
Oh shit.
Oh, thank you.
Those
I thought I saw some smoke.
Yeah. Crimps. You use
Did you burn
crimp on
yourself?
the end of the wire tips.
Flew
And
towards
then
me,
you
okay?
talk to that. It's a little more stable.
Some wire, you can touch the end with a soldering iron and then
Because
insulate.
it's
That's
already
true.
attached to a PCB that's attached to the LED.
That is true.
Oh yeah.
So unless you just snip that to go directly to the LED.
Let's see what happens with the light.
the glove.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is
I
windy.
don't know. It's just because these are really, really, really tiny gauge
Yeah, so that
wires.
works.
I looked at that.
Yeah.
Hey, metal.
To be honest, usually I just
Don't breathe this.
attach them.
Don't breathe it.
Well,
I mean, yeah, I could cut
So
it out.
you literally just burnt away all the insulation.
Not all.
Well, this
Just
is not
enough.
burnt off, but-
That's where you need those fake nails, right?
That's very amusing to me.
You should try to hit it with some alcohol or some acetone so it doesn't.
Alright, let's take it out of this.
Yeah,
This guy.
you clean it with something. Don't smoke wires. Sure you do.
Yes, I agree. That is probably a bad idea.
All right.
Yeah.
Alright, one of these is kind of funky. I think it's this
Well,
one.
Let me, do you want to try soldering this, or do you want me to solder?
What?
Do you want to solder this?
I can do it.
Okay. Well, for reference, I think that this one here, see how this one comes up the center post? I think that's your common cathode. And this one right here was green, and the other two I have no idea. So you might get red and blue.
Well, I'm gonna open up this guy anyways. And they're the same.
Oh, this one's being funky also?
Yeah.
Well, why don't you? Well, whatever.
Get out of here with you and your logic. Oh, there we go.
Seems all right.
It's this one. You know, like sometimes, like on
Just put some damn super glue in it right now, and then call it a day.
yeah, this is the one. Is this one also bad? I think we should put some strain relief on this guy before it fails. 'Cause it's
Just put a dab of hot glue in there.
Yeah.
So I think if you just put some super glue down in the hole while it's working, then you'd be okay. That'd be easier than cutting it apart.
True.
I mean, and if it doesn't fix it, then who cares? Super glue is easy to cut. If we have super glue. I don't know if Dave has any super glue though.
Yes, it's in the refrigerator.
Well, there you go. Put some super glue in that thing. Don't fix what ain't broke.
We're not hot glue.
Because you won't get the hot glue down in the hole. And like, super glue will go in there, and you can put some hot glue after, but I would put super glue down in there in the hole because whatever's loose is down inside of there. You're never
I mean,
gonna
in
get
this hole or like here?
I would.
Hey,
I mean,
do
if
you have a couple capacitors?
I would.
What's that?
I need
I would put it
0.1 picofarad, 33.
So I would do two things. I would put super glue down in this hole while it's on, to glue the wires in place in there, and then put a dab of hot glue around that there, a strain relief. Does that make sense?
0.1.
This?
No, no such thing. 5 picofarad is the smallest capacity.
Sorry, microfarad.
Oh wow! Just a 3 or 6 orders of difference.
Yeah, a U and a P look real similar sometimes. Sorry, wrote that down wrong. Yeah, 0.1 microfarad, 0.01 microfarad, and
Oh, Rue, don't be a worrywart.
Who's Rue?
One of my Twitter friends. He's from Canada.
Roll stuff.
I'm afraid of putting a super glue on there and then it binding, like bonding as soon as like it's in the position that I'm moving.
All right, well, here. I will hold it so it works, and then you put the glue in there. Okay? And super glue isn't that instant. You just have to hold this for about like 5 minutes. Yeah, so that means it went in. So let's just hold it right there. And I'll just drink my LaCroix.
Brought to you by LaCroix.
33.
Wait. Yeah.
Tonight's sponsor.
Yeah, sponsors that?
Maybe.
My friends get sponsors sometimes.
Yeah, now that LaCroix's been on here, they owe us some money. You can probably dab up this extra because I'm all over the top. Your friends get sponsors?
Yeah,
They
but
have,
like,
they have, like they're officially influencers.
I mean, it's usually like fashion blogs and stuff. So it looks like the super glue like went all the way down in there.
That's what you want.
Yeah, but it went so far in that it's not flush anymore.
That's fine. You don't want to do that.
We're not gonna do a second application.
That's what your hot glue is for. Your friends are fashion bloggers that get sponsors.
Yeah.
Do they get invited to like tropical islands and?
No, just free stuff.
Okay, well that's pretty good.
Allow 10 seconds for setup. So I think we're good.
Okay.
Torture test.
Yeah, don't wiggle it around too much. Still got to hot glue it. Or if you want to put more glue, more super glue right now, now's the time.
We'll put a little more super glue.
This time, let's put it in a clamp so I don't have to hold it.
Okay. If I'm giving this thing a regulated output,
Never used one. No idea.
like if I'm just powering this up.
Feels like it's dimmer than the other LEDs. Or am I just crazy?
I think you're just crazy.
Oh shoot.
That just means it's.
This thing is literally held together by duct tape. Hence why I'm so done with this.
Yeah, why don't you just make your own of this?
Oh, wait, which one is this? Sorry. Okay, that's my input.
Oh god.
Alright, well, I'm just gonna say how it works with
You take this apart to try to modify how it takes the battery, and it just never goes back together again.
Oh,
So.
you should just glue it to your hand and glue those things to your fingertips and not have to even wear the glove. Do some
You know what? Yeah, let me just
some gum rubber, like spirit stuff, like for makeup prosthetics.
let me just cybernetically enhance my body so I'm
Yeah.
shiny LEDs shooting out.
I mean, that'd be cool, right? You can use addressable LEDs. Emily is an expert. I would not call myself an expert on
We're not using addressable LEDs for
Yeah, you could have these. You could have
a
this ESP.
single LED.
You could have this ESP32 controlled, and then like address each finger
Dude,
independently.
I'm supposed to be working on that
You should
project
get
right
those.
now.
They have little modules, and you can like chain them. They each have their own like little like mux things, so you can like just. Or no, not muxes. Registers. They each have their own little register, so you
Cool.
can just keep pushing them on in the chain. And they make them like these little modules that you can plug into each other. I think Adafruit sells them or
Oh,
something.
yeah? Is it Adafruit or Adafruit?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
It's a day.
A day fruit.
A day fruit. As opposed to a night fruit.
Throw the rest of the cultures home and bust the case apart, throw it away. You know, that's expensive.
All right, well that works. I'm gonna go back to the coding because I was supposed to be doing this while it's compiling. I'm pretty sure.
Alright, close.
Isn't the wiring a little better now?
Alright, I've got a question for you, YouTube. Alright.
YouTube.
Should I ask YouTube a question? Alright,
Hey,
YouTube.
Rue will probably be super helpful with you for that. So
Who's Rudiger?
Rudiger.
Rudiger. Rudiger?
I don't know.
Rudiger?
I call him Rue, but maybe it's
All right, Rudiger. We've got an MSEQ7, MSGEQ7, and pin 8 is the clock pin. Now, I'm thinking I can just give that thing a solid regulated, it's like 5 volts or something, but it has got a 200K pull-up resistor with a 33 picofarad filter capacitor. It's got like this filter circuit on it.
Periodically they sell.
And I don't have a 33 picofarad capacitor or a 200K resistor, so
He was walking through the last week,
fix it.
and he was like,
I don't know. I haven't tested to see if it works or yet. No.
more workbench.
So.
He said, maybe you should get one of these.
Thanks,
He
you.
sent me a picture, and I was like, that happens all the time. Because they're cool, because they have outlet strips built in them. And there's a big red button, and I was like, oh man, it's a piece stock for the whole like outlet strip. And I was like, that's freaking cool, but I don't know where to put it. And I got rid of my current workbench, which is my grandfather's dressing table. And I wanted to get that.
Only
And,
once, not for each back.
I was pretty bummed out.
So the first
And I talked to my parents
run through
yesterday,
is
and
done
they
right,
really had a
right?
place to
People
take
to
it
read
back.
the book and sign it up. The second, third, fourth back, down, people forgot.
Well, so we walked by today, and they're all
And they don't
clean.
have to sign the book, it's
But-
already signed.
My excitement was tempered because it's not a e-stop. It's a red indicator bulb.
Because if we had.
So, like,
travelers,
there's just a
we would
switch.
say,
It's like a
well,
circuit
we
breaker
get
switch,
our
which is still kind of cool. It's a circuit breaker building.
the
And like, when there's power to the bench,
test
just
board
there's a red light on.
for the
It's not an e-stop button, it's a red
The
light.
RF shield.
It's like power
Solution.
Yeah, it's
not
I mean, it's still cool. If you are interested in a workbench, because they do show up periodically, keep an eye out, so walk through there. I don't know if I see one, I'll let you know, because they're like $7. You just have to get into your house.
Yeah, I don't know how I'm going to do that, but
You have to rent a Home Depot truck. Actually, you know, someone's not a big deal, because
Cases on the shelf.
some of the guys that work in the surplus property here,
They're not
they
supposed to
like
be
they're
on
like
the
a little
shelf,
side hustle.
ready to use
They're like,
when they're not
if you
ready
have
to
big
use.
things, they'll deliver to your house for like
I was
$50.
sitting there
You still get
testing
a
the board.
pretty cool workbench for
I was doing the
$60.
test. Put the board on the test, I pushed the start button.
And they have a big truck, so you just take it all in one
Button
piece.
3 times.
okay, so there's a job as an official employee
And I
who
put
run
them
this
back
thing.
in the rack and I put it past.
They also have
back
a
on, and I sit it on the shelf.
Contracting service.
I said,
to
"Oh, you're
ship.
supposed to put those
I wouldn't call it a
in
contracting
cases."
service. I would call it an off-the-books operation.
And the guy pulls the cases, box
Okay.
bottoms and the box tops, and oh, here's the pipe. And so I was just putting together the part.
Aiden Rue says that he got a phone call and missed part of what you were asking him, so
That's not considered.
maybe you want to explain again.
The ones you
I was
do
just
is-
asking if I needed,
Stop doing that.
there's a pull-up resistor and a 33 picofarad capacitor on the clock pin of this IC. And I'm like, can I just feed it a regulated voltage out of an Arduino instead of like, because I don't have the 33 picofarad capacitor. I just don't know if that's going to mess up the clock pin. But then again, it's a MSGEQ, so I think there's a bit of wiggle room. Like, I don't think it's that sensitive.
Yeah.
It just kind of changes the frequency ranges that it can operate in.
Okay.
So, I don't know.
What happened, Roger? It didn't hit the end stop?
It did hit the end stop, which has not been wired to do anything.
Oh.
Yes, I got my coordinate clock.
What was it? It's their fault.
It was trying to move about a foot toward the upper right beyond.
Oh, okay.
It does not work.
Yeah.
There's no recording. What's already signed, so, you know, you can't tell, oh, this is the third batch of 50 or.
No reason that you know.
Natalie, how do you turn this thing off? Turn it on, turn it off. Oh, you just press and hold.
Yeah.
You turn it on again.
No, I pressed it to see.
What are pretty colors?
Yeah.
So they're not keeping the batches separate.
And did that alone fix it? No, it didn't.
No. But I'm gonna go solder this unless you want to solder it.
If you want to do it, I mean, like, sure, I appreciate the help.
Yeah, I'll do it.
So those folks can go through the shop several times
Uh,
with the same
do we have a hot glue gun that's less intense than that thing?
No. That thing works great. I've used it plenty of times.
But we only need a little tiny bit.
So?
10 years ago, after this, I'm a database programmer. I kind of partially did it. I mean, hey, look at this. Group processes and that process this. If it's something similar, you just select the process list. Oh, delete that one, add this other one, and shuffle the order. There you are. But no, they increase. No. What do they have?
Freeze, Emily. So hold up.
Oh shit! Don't hurt me.
Is this
Don't
really
glue
hard
me.
looking?
I mean, this could totally, like, if you painted it silver and put some lights, it could be like some freaking sci-fi ray gun from like the first Star Trek.
Yeah.
Like the TV show in the 70s. Like you just made it silver and like red and then just
Like how do you just like spray paint Nerf guns for like sci-fi TV shows?
yeah,
How do you know if the phasers weren't actually made from glue guns?
it's true. It's true.
So,
There was
using super glue as a gap filling
Of course.
material was
That's just an old broom handle Mauser. But if you look, they made sporting versions with a sight on it. So they
Yeah.
just put like cone flange on the front of it and drilled some holes in it. Prop making, legend.
I wish I was a prop maker.
I like how your method of testing the hot glue is radius
It's like
Yeah.
there's too many people doing it and not enough demand for it.
I know it's not a good gig to get into. It just seems like it would.
Yeah.
If the pay was better, it would be right up my alley.
That's why I left that world, because it was just too infrequent and it pays okay, but not consistently enough.
Rue says pin 8 is part of an internal oscillator.
Yeah, I know.
So what's the question?
I don't know
So what was it? The glue is not
gap
gap filling the way you wanted?
if the
Yeah,
filtering
this is
is
super glue, so it
necessary
really
for
doesn't really
the
gap
input
fill.
Oh, we
power.
weren't trying to gap fill. We're just trying to whatever's like legally loose. We want
I
to
just don't know if I
stick it
need
to something else before we
the
pop it.
internal oscillator. I'm like, will it work right if I just don't have those pins? Like if I
There's
don't
the
have
glue.
this capacitor, will it still
If you let it get nice and hot, you might be able to almost like injection mold it into that hole. So let it get hotter. It's just barely down.
Really, it's already leaking.
Yeah, I'm gonna get
I know,
that.
but it like didn't even burn my fingers, so it's not that hot. It needs to do the internal filtering. The filter is the R and the C of the oscillator. So I don't know. What was your question, Aiden? What resistor and capacitor to use there?
Like, do I need that filter on the clock input? Because I don't know, there's nothing on the data sheet about what the design of the clock oscillator actually is. I don't know if those things are necessary to make it oscillate, or if it'll just oscillate at a different frequency if I
You can substitute it with a 165 kilohertz oscillator. You mean like a quartz crystal? Like, what are you saying?
Yeah.
It's not a filter. It's the RC of the internal oscillator.
Oh, okay, because it's just an RC circuit oscillator. Like it's not, but like then what is in the chip? If does it have its own set of
Ready?
things?
Yeah.
What does the chip have? Like a
Stick it on there and
inductor or something?
just
Mash it in.
squish it in there.
I don't know. So wait, you said I can just substitute. What is that?
Yeah.
160.
I got it.
Yeah, you gotta hold it. I'll just glue around it so we have a little bit of strain.
I see.
It's all messy,
Okay,
but-
because I thought that was a power filter. All right. So 165 kilohertz.
Cone filter.
Well, that sucks. Then I need to throw an oscillator.
Can you do a variable frequency oscillator from a 555?
Oh shit! Yeah, I have a bunch of 555 circuits in my box.
I think I missed a spot.
I used to make these. I used to make these. This one's not working right, but I made these. Oh, now it's
That's
kind
cool.
of working.
Just a little LED blinky.
Yeah, because I taught a few soldering courses for like little workshop things, and so I just had a whole bunch of these printed, and these are what my little students would make. It's just a 555 timer circuit, which is essentially just a voltage divider and a capacitor,
Yeah.
and these neat little battery holders that I got.
I have another copy on this laptop. I have with me.
But I have a whole ton of these, just all over
Yeah.
the place.
So just replace the
LED
and
with
Yep. With the rest of your circuit.
yeah.
And then change the resistor so that it oscillates more quickly. Just tune it to 165 kilohertz. Oh yeah.
I have a
No.
555.
Oh, let me see.
No. It's, yeah.
I
More hot glue?
Yeah. Okay.
think it's actually in the wire, not in the inside of it.
It's a break in the wire.
It's like if I hold this and bend it like that. See it?
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Where do you think the break is?
Looks like I need more circuitry
I
than
know I have a
I thought.
copy in here because I was working on it.
Oh, it's like all the way in here.
See if I could-
But thankfully, this is a little easier to fix.
That's a lot easier to fix. That
Yeah.
was probably the case on the other one that we cut apart.
Can you ask him
No,
for
I don't think so.
555 pin out? I'm too lazy to look it up.
The 555 pinout. Rue, what is the 555 pinout?
Maybe it works on it.
4 and 8 are VCC. 1 is to ground. 2 and 6 get tied together. I don't think anyone's tuned in anymore except for Rue.
What's 7? Just the dead pin? What's that?
Capacitor goes between pins 1 and 2.
And
Where does the
branch
resistor go? Just ground?
Resistor goes between 6 and 7.
Okay, that's what we do with 7.
I wish it showed me how many people are tuned in. Is it 4? Maybe 4 people are tuned in. Resistor also goes between 7 and 8.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. This is the same thing as
All that stuff is over in that corner.
the same thing as
4
the
watching now.
RC circuit on the
Here's the thing. How do you find the break in the wire?
Just cut all the wire out. Do you have a spare USB cable or a different USB cable?
Not all of them.
Because like this has 5 strands in it. You could easily use this to replace that.
No. No, this was all cut to specs and shipped.
How much did this thing cost you?
That's,
20 bucks.
$20.
Hey, which one of these is the oscillator output?
Are you asking Rue?
Yes, I'm asking review.
Rue, which one is the oscillator output? 3 is the output. I should have known that. I've built enough like
it was on that long slide.
Atari Con consoles.
I think I'm about ready to give up on this.
memorize pinouts
Because if this involves me having to like resolder all of this, I'm gonna just.
Probably if this one and the other one broke, then these other 3 are probably getting close to
This
her.
one's on the way too.
Yeah.
You can tell by that. All right. Well, you served me well.
Well, you could do something else with it. You could just like disassemble it. And you could just solder your LEDs straight onto this thing.
Yeah, I mean, I could repurpose it for something else in the future.
And here's your little spare one.
That's,
It's enough time spent on this and we go back to coding.
but I think it's like,
Or
it's 45.
slamming my head against the computer, wondering why.
Oh, I remember this.
You have to yell, LED.
Yeah, I just gave it to you. I said, here's your extra one, and I put it in your hand right here.
Oh, you put the I'm just not stressing on that.
It's inside of the little thing.
All right, clean up.
All right. Is it time to end this live stream? I think it's time to end this live stream.
What if it doesn't work?
What if what doesn't work? The live stream? Or what you're doing?
I think that's fine, but it could be fine.
Oh, well, then it gets him off the hook.
Whatever it
That's
is, I
yell
don't.
at him.
Actually, not this one of
We
them
won't be
set up.
there.
You won't be there.
I think Bosch and I were interchangeable. And I think 80/20 is usually the two.
Where did did you have a 3D printer for the in the track?
No, not that precise. I just wanted a little clip.
I suggest he link the two chips, 3 from the 555 to number 8 on the filter with a 1K resistor between them.
Okay, so put a 1K so it's not tied directly.
Yeah.
Not tied it directly.
Yeah.
Traffic drop. Do you know the cap? No, I know the cap. Actually, it does.
This is like a $12 Chinese one, I think. Smackin'. They sell these on Amazon.
I gotta put this in before I forget which one it is. Hello?
Roger, would you like me to work on wiring this motor to the stepper driver?
So the to-do list is, yeah, from here to the A and B,
Mhm.
and then there was one more connector. There was one here. Oh, here it is. It's a whining sound.
Sounds like a printer.
So it's thing, and then from there I can get to the pin out, but it's from there to the pins is the homing switch, and then the other four goes to course interruption.
Okay. Do you want to use this connector here, or do you want these wires to go these ones? Are you saving this JST right here? My question is do you want me to cut these off, solder them, and then insert them here, or do you want something attached to this end of
What do you think makes sense?
cut them off?
Cut them off. Okay.
Unless you have a reason to want to disconnect it from here without using a screwdriver.
Well, then we have that. Right?
Well, then, yeah, there you go. And just cut those fuckers off.
Yep.
Roger, can I fire you a link for a pen holder idea?
Sure.
Of course.
Why would I say no unless you're billing me some exorbitant amount of money?
I think Rue likes to do these things for fun. So.
Okay. Sure. Yeah, and then we can crimp on new connectors if they want. So off with its head.
All right.
Gosh.
It's not far from the where's that place? The best
So where's the meter? I'll just verify this is a normally open switch.
I'll grab it because I need to check and see.
I was telling him that the Woodville campus of PCC and
Oh, yeah,
they
yeah.
be open to opening a classroom.
So we're I went with full size servos. The little ones.
And it goes closer to you.
They don't have to. And first time coming from.
Is here where the Toblerons and the.
Like in and out further down the street.
Right.
One in the slip on the servo drive here. So 730 by hand.
So
You
yeah.
just spin steer around them, so.
That's too far, that's not good, but it's something more. You ever see our mother?
What do you think?
I do. What are you guys doing over there? What are you guys doing in Sierra Madre?
So I was suggesting a venue for him, oh.
What's that, Aiden? No. Are you?
No, but I was nearby.
Where do you live?
East Hackett.
Okay.
You know, like near Bodywork.
Okay. Like where we were the other day.
I live in Rosemead.
Oh, I live in Almani.
Oh, thank you.
Since encoders.
Oh, they're my car.
But I don't live in Rosemead, but on.
Let me get on this. I don't know that.
Wait, where are you talking about Sierra Madre?
Lamb is trying to find a venue for Sean for some meetup.
Oh. Was that Beantown? But they can't hold back.
Beantown's pretty good. How many people come to your meetup, Sean?
The one that I haven't started yet.
Well, the one that you're trying to find a venue for right now.
I'm limiting it to 15.
Okay. Because Beantown is pretty good. It's kind of small, but it's a pretty good spot. It's a coffee shop, cafe thing in Sierra Madre.
They have shows there sometimes, like little local people.
I can see that.
You know, this single guitar, just single guitar, yes.
Does it?
Does this show web addresses? I don't know. Did you paste a web address? Because I don't see one. And Roger, you wanted to check the. Check this.
Does this show web addresses?
Can I borrow a couple of your little jumper wires?
I do not see
for
web
sure.
addresses in the chat window.
Okay.
I don't know where else
I
it
don't
would be.
have that many.
I just need to borrow two for like
Here's
30
one.
seconds.
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of them in use. Ah, here we go. There's two.
Thank you.
In LA.
And Roger, you wanted to see if this is normally open or normally closed?
Yeah.
Well, you want to click on it while I hold this?
Right?
Okay.
They're not that organized.
Like there are none in California. At least.
Okay,
Alright.
so it's
Normally open.
Okay.
Thank you. Did you say I need 100K?
1,000. No, no. 1K.
1K.
Yeah, not 1,000.
1,000.
So yeah, so
Of the
Reason I asked
1,000.
is if you're not
pop
doing
those
it,
two
you're
out of
not
there
signing
and put them in
you can
the top two.
do it
Okay.
On October 20th.
And then we'll go solder these.
Yeah, and see if the students will be-
Let's do that later.
I can do them both right now. In one fell swoop.
So it's like it's like an unofficial NASA space app.
No, not until the space X, but, your type of coding for AI capabilities. Because you have a bunch of CS students, CIS students and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100K.
I'm sure Dave has a 1K that he would let you have if you asked nicely.
Oh yeah, I probably have one in this box too. So I just trying to remember what the code is on that. I just had one plugged in the board.
I have all the
already.
quarter watches.
Oh, okay, cool.
There's one for 1206s, there's 5.
We're live streaming today?
Yes.
Cool. I think I might go with this, man.
Black, brown.
This, yeah, you get those.
1K, right?
Yeah. I mean, put it on live stream.
So we're looking for black, brown, or
I bought the green.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just looking as fuck.
I'm gonna make some shit in the body.
Yeah, see all the way over there? And they're all nicely organized.
What I was gonna do with the color.
I don't know, I have scraps of that. Other things. But in 1/6 scale, the tracks are
Come on.
about half a meter wide. Oh, wait, between the tracks are half a meter, 3 inches. So in 1/6 scale, there we go, 3 inches.
You said in 1/6 scale, it's half a meter wide.
No.
I don't think it matters now, Rue, because he's grabbing one out of a bin that's labeled.
Scaled up.
What?
He was trying to tell you the color coding was this thing, this is black, brown, orange. There's a black, brown, red.
I think that's what he said.
Right. Well, I mean, it's just they're both because of the multipliers, like
It's more than 6.6.
thing.
Depends on how colorful.
Yeah, it depends.
Roger, do you have a preference for like black and red going into which pins on this thing?
What are we wiring up right now? The motor or the switch?
Switch.
The switch.
Yes. Yeah, because they come in. So black, brown, and orange is 1K, but brown, black, and red is also 1K.
Is it?
Yeah.
I didn't know you could read that there was multiple ways to do that.
Yeah, because the first it's like the 1 digit, the 10 digit, and then the multiplier. So what? Yeah. So you can do it 2 ways. You know?
And then edgemost could be left or right side.
Am I gonna be in anyone's way if I stand here?
No.
I had to rearrange
Look at this.
do it multiple pieces or.
Wait, which one is it going from? 7
Not so much lately. It's
3.
So,
3.
It used to be, you couldn't
Why
have.
have we not declared it? I declared it.
All right.
I declared it.
Okay,
Very
there's two.
intense ways, I did declare it.
And,
Yeah.
It occurred to me we probably could have popped the 4 out of the connector and then pinched it with the. So you have pinned ends, huh?
yes.
That is something. You wouldn't have to.
I don't know if-
offhand or DRC is for that.
I don't know if tinned ends are proper, improper.
They're not the
I'm
best.
borrowing your 3D prints.
The
I guess if there's too much current, then that could be an issue,
I was
right?
trying to see if there's
but the other day
anything I
MPS
wanted
and
to
they were telling me that the solder will will balance forces. So you pinch down, they'll flow away from the high point,
Hmm,
and they'll loosen up over time.
I see.
Yeah, that's that empty cardboard box.
You even all the pressure until they're equally loose, and then whoop, out comes the wire.
Mm.
Scrap is in the scrap.
But this might be a years-long process.
So
He's offering you a way of carrying.
It's like on some houses they used aluminum wiring instead of copper wiring, but aluminum wiring like it work hardens differently than copper wire, and so it just loosens. So like the wires that go into all your outlets where you screw little terminals down, you just get loose. Just like sitting in the walls, they just
some of that
loosen.
stuff is good. That's not
But-
scrap.
You know,
That one.
Okay.
Not this.
That is. That's good part.
Let's see. So we need 4 more wires to go from here in both direction.
That box.
Also need a power source.
Not the
Okay,
same.
so you want me to,
Some of those things.
make some wires up to go into these.
Sure.
How long do they need to be?
That was the 60 to 1
It
gearing.
can't be any further than.
Okay, so about that long.
So what's the longest these can possibly be? Actually, they're not.
3.3, isn't it?
Huh? 555 what? 3.3 volts?
Yeah, is it?
They can run on like 9 or 12 volts.
Oh, okay.
I think they take a big range.
That didn't be regulated down.
No,
So
I just ran off 3.
it would be, where do we mount this?
Yeah.
Now you're just doing
This will go there.
Where's the other drivers? They didn't say this on that? Like, the other stepper drivers, are they, where are they? You want to see them? Oh, they're on the left.
Mount this on here.
No. It's a long line. Just put it in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah.
You can have any of that you want.
Okay, but, and then this will probably be
What the idea of
uh, pulse directional wires and a power supply.
What?
These guys like
That's 9 to 42.
Oh, okay, this is the TV one. Yeah. Okay, yeah. It kind of works on 9. It really wants 12.
All right. What's a good candidate for us to use in the puzzle source?
What's powering your other drivers?
Yeah, they're only go straight.
I have, somewhere around here, I have a 12-volt power supply that you could use on once a break.
This thing actually works anywhere between 145 and 180 kilohertz.
Oh,
So I don't even need to be picky about what I'm doing with my
professional grade. Not technical.
They might still.
You know they put streaming videos on but
That's
they
the
really
original
don't-
thing.
Oh, that's it.
Okay.
It's just what it's expecting back.
I remember Roger talking about this.
Depends on who you're talking to.
Depends. Well, I think everyone would like. They still call themselves the Republic of China, right? And China says they're part of People's Republic of China. Or everyone says they're China. We just differ on like who's in charge of that China.
Yeah. To one government, the island is the renegade province, and the other government is the renegade mainland.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I was living in mainland China, and they were like, "Yeah, of course it's part of China." They didn't even question that. They were like, "No, they just don't know." Like, or they just, I don't know. It's weird. You would talk to people, and they'd be like, "Oh yeah, no, they just have a separate government, but they're still part of it."
Okay, this is a 12-volt,
They're not.
12-volt 25.
It would go down to 3. Okay, there's only 2 people tuned into this anymore, so I'm gonna shut this down for the night. So, bye, Rue, and whoever else is on there. I don't know who else you are, but have a good night.
It came with, I replaced the one on Luca box because the fan was really loud. You don't care if fan.
One of my friends